Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight we are having some chicken and dumplings. I'm very excited about it because I don't know that I've ever made this myself before. I know that you usually use like boneless meat, chicken, or whatever, but I had chicken legs, so that's what we're gonna do today, okay? Ooh, I got it over some rice. You can have some. Here you go. It's very hot. Blow it. Ooh, it's not focusing really good. There we go. Look, we do the influencer here. It's a little hot. Mm-hmm. I could just wait and let the food cool down. Jeez. How y'all doing today? What is? Hey, cut it out. TJ just not gonna let me be great. Okay. Anyway. How y'all doing today? It's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. It's kick your dog out the kitchen day. Anyway. This is delicious. My dog wants some of it, but he can't have it. Mm-hmm. And to answer your question, no, I did not make the dumplings from scratch. TJ Bartholomew, you have food in your bowl, go eat it. Go eat your foods. Yeah, go eat your foods. Anytime I'm sitting at the table, he think he's supposed to eat. So don't come for me in the comments. He is very well fed. He's just being a brat right now. Tonight we're having some strawberry lemonade from Sunkist. Super delicious. Are you enjoying this, babe? Yes. Alrighty. I have a very interesting topic to talk about. Now, this story is old, but it's new to me. I saw a documentary on Prime, Amazon Prime, called The Woman Who Wasn't There. I don't know if y'all ever seen this before. This came out in 2012, but it was my first time seeing it. I vaguely remember hearing about this lady, but yeah. So there was a lady named Tanya Head. That's the name she was going by, at least. Sorry, yeah. Tanya Head had this elaborate story of how she survived September 11th in the Twin Towers. Now, she told this story about how she felt the air being sucked out of her lungs when the plane crashed. Her skin was on fire. She said at some point, she said that her arm felt severed, and this guy pulled on her arm, and she was screaming, "Stop, it hurts, it hurts." And that she put her arm in her jacket to protect herself. And a young man with the red bandana, who apparently saved quite a few people, she glommed onto that, and she told everybody he saved her life as well. Now, she claimed to have worked for Merrill Lynch, who had offices in that building. And she also claimed to have had a husband who also died in the Twin Towers. Tanya Head became very well known in the media. She was shaking hands with the governor, with the mayor. She was at all the events. She went to all the grief counseling. She planned a lot of the functions. She was Hispanic. She was actually from Spain, and she would be the person who translated for people who couldn't speak English on these tours. It was crazy. So, over the time, stuff just wasn't adding up no more. And one of the survivors wanted to know more about her. And she was very guarded about stuff she said, because she was so good at telling her particular story that if you asked her something that would make her have to deviate, she would break down. She would do other things to distract you from what you asked. So homeboy started doing some research. He was looking at the rosters for Merrill Lynch. Didn't see her nowhere on there. He was digging and digging, trying to figure out, because he's like, her story is so elaborate. Where's her name on anything? Like, she didn't even exist. Like, what is going on? One lady, I believe her name was Linda, who was a survivor, and her became like best friends. She was so excited. They worked together on everything, and they were doing this, oh my God, I can't think of the name of the therapy. It was some kind of therapy where you have to like repeat what you went through and try to get yourself out of that phase or whatever that you're going through. Anyway, she was doing this, and then she would be like breaking down, "Oh my God, it's so traumatic, I can't deal," and blah, blah, blah. So, at one point, the mother of the young man with the red bandana, as he was known, I can't remember his name, she wanted to meet people who claimed that he had saved them, because she wanted to know their stories, that she wanted to know, what his last moments could have been like. So she got in contact with Tanya, and Tanya was like, she even said in the documentary, "I don't think it's my place to tell people what their loved ones went through before they died. I don't think they want to know that it was so gruesome, and their heads," like she said, her assistant's head was decapitated from the plane crashing into the building. When you watch the documentary, you never see any real scars on her. And I was kind of like, if your arm was almost severed, why come for your arm don't look burnt up and crispy and you don't see no scars? Now, she did wear a lot of long sleeve stuff, But there was a couple times she had on a t-shirt, and I was like, I don't see no burns. They must have had some amazing surgeons. So I was like, okay. So the story just kept getting more and more elaborate. She claimed to have a dog. So one of the survivors went to her apartment, and she was like, where's this dog you always talking about? She was like, oh, so-and-so is walking him. So she was like, oh, okay. He must be the happiest dog ever. He's always walking. And so she came back to the apartment another time. She was like, Tanya, do you even have a dog? She was like, yes, so-and-so is walking him. And she was like, he's never here. He's always walking. Like, what is the deal? Do you really have a dog? And then she would get mad at her and shut down and be like, I don't know why you're questioning me, this and that. So there was a couple other people who got suspicious of this situation. You okay, babe? You okay?
Yeah.
My baby about to fall asleep. Anyway. My story time and putting her to sleep. So people started getting suspect because Merrill Lynch had no record of her. She accidentally slipped up and told somebody that she rented space in the Twin Towers, which didn't add up. Oh, because she said something about making friends. The husband she claimed to have. This was so bizarre to me. She said that he surprised her with a surprise wedding. I believe it was in Hawaii. And they didn't have their marriage license or nothing like that, right? So she said in the documentary there was really no rush because we planned to get married that October. How convenient, okay? But he did. So how you gonna get married? Now, this is the part that threw me off because I was like, I didn't know they do this, but she claimed that a judge married them posthumously. So she married a dead man and took his name. Sit on that for a second.
They do that in China.
Marry dead people? I ain't never heard that before in my life.
Yeah.
Have y'all? Because I don't know. Anyway, so she was from Spain, and it turns out when September 11th happened, she was in Barcelona, Spain, in school for financial blah blah blah. She graduated that next year. They have her on video graduating from that school that she went to. Apparently she was in a car accident at one point where she did have some damage to her arm, but again, never saw that. Never saw the damage. Could have been another story. So she was never in the Twin Towers. Somehow they found out. She went to a lawyer. She never did anything illegal per se because she didn't get money from it. She just got a whole bunch of notoriety. And that's what she was looking for. To be honest with you, that's all she was looking for. She had a extremely pick-me spirit. So too much food. It turns out she had 5 brothers. She was the only girl. She was the baby. Her dad and brother were thrown in jail for some kind of like embezzlement, some kind of financial scandal they was in. They got thrown in jail at some point in her life. It wasn't that far separated from September 11th, I believe. So she wanted some attention. I don't know. She did research to find out what companies was in there. I guess she did research to find a single man in the firm that she can lie and say she was married to, because he was dead. What he gonna say? He can't argue that he dead.
Unless his family.
And that's the part I can't remember if his family even knew anything about her. Or they did. I don't even know anyway. It was a very good documentary. And once she was found out, like, they were on the Today Show when Katie Couric was back on there, Good Morning America, all the major news outlets, even in Spain, they had her on the news for lying. So this was like 2009 when the people figured her out. So she disappeared. Nobody had seen her for like 3 years. And at the very end of the movie, they show somebody with their camera phone in her face, like taking pictures, and she swiped at it and knocked the phone down. And that was the last time anybody seen or heard from her. I was like, this is the craziest mess. Why? I mean, you lied about injuries. You lied about your spouse. You lied about a dog. You lied about where you worked. You weren't even in the country. But for what, though? For what?
You didn't get nothing out of it.
No.
Some words.
People were just dumbfounded by the whole situation, because they had gotten so close to her. They thought, yeah, chop please. And on the anniversaries of September 11th, she would usually be out there. And low key, I feel like she probably still is. Because people do that. It's a thing. People want to go back to the place where they got their notoriety. And I believe she'd be standing out there in the crowd on these anniversaries. I personally, at the time, lived about 5 exits from the Pentagon when September 11th happened. And that's not a day you want to make up. That's not a day you want to play around with. Like, it was very traumatic. I still kind of low-key scared of planes flying over me, especially if I go close to an airport and the planes are landing, and it freaks me out a little bit. Just a lot. Just a lot of it. But at the end of the day, why lie? My September 11th story was different from everybody else's, but it's a day I'll never forget. And the people I shared it with, 2 are unfortunately no longer with us. My husband and his brother, but my girlfriend and I are still here. And I am thankful that we were able to weather September 11th together. That's the best way to put it. Because, yeah, that was some scary stuff. And the fact that this lady just played on people's emotions behind September 11th, you know people was hurting. You know people were traumatized. We was watching the news. Matter of fact, we was watching Today Show when the planes crashed. So, like, to be sitting up there like, oh, I'm going to get ready for work. Oh, one of the towers is on fire. What the heck happened? And just to be sitting there and you watching the news and all of a sudden this plane crashed into a building, that ain't something you want to make up. That is not something you want to play with. That is crazy. And that's something, people got killed. Thousands of people.
And then for her to lie on a dead man, like that.
Yeah.
That's a different type of sick.
Yeah.
That's a different type
Yeah.
of sick. Like,
because you mess with his family. Even if this man didn't have no kids or nothing like that, he had a mama, he had a daddy, like, he had
Right.
family. Like, so why would you do that? Like, I'm trying to understand
and then
her mental space to try to glom on to some kind of notoriety. You're not getting money out of it.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything but this little weird 15 minutes of fame. And to have such an elaborate story, you had to have listened to other people's story and try to make up your own stuff.
and then it's like, to a certain extent, I get like, oh, you want to be seen sometimes, but it's different ways to do that. And if you're not getting no money for it, what are you doing? Like, ain't no reason to be doing all this. Like, girl, if you're not getting no money, if you're not scamming, like, what's the point of just doing all these lies?
I don't understand. I literally want to talk to her
Like,
and get in her head.
that's why I want to do psychology, because what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why people think the way they do, but there is nothing in my life that I want. I am like a little bit too honest. And God rest his soul, my husband's like, sometimes you don't need to say stuff. Because at the end of the day, everything don't need to be said, but I don't like lying. I hate lying. I hate liars. I can't stand that. So it's like, because it don't sit right. It just don't sit right to lie to people. Especially my family. Come on now. For what? Now, I might withhold some stuff, but that's not a lie. That's just not telling you everything.
mm-hmm.
And that's different. But I am very forthcoming with my kids. Some stuff I probably shouldn't say out loud too. But at the end of the day, I don't want them going through life with a peaches and cream mentality. Like everything is rosy and blah, blah. Child, life sucks sometimes, okay? Sometimes this crap is hard. Okay?
Life be life sometimes.
Life be life and hard. Sometimes that junk will roll over you like a dump truck.
Just knock you out.
Please. And sometimes I'm like I said before, there are days when I'm like, I'm not getting out this bed today. I don't like nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to put no clothes on. I'm not turning on this camera. I'm not doing none of that. Today could have been one of them days. Because I ain't going to lie, y'all. I'm having a flare up. I'm in pain. You know, don't let this little makeup fool you. Girl, your girl is in pain right now. But at the end of the day, I really want to come on here talk to y'all about this show. Again, it's called The Woman Who Wasn't There. It's on Amazon Prime. Check it out. It's like 45 minutes to an hour long. But your mouth will be gaping open like mine was. Because the whole time I was like, for real? Why? But why? But why? If she had... See, now to me, if she had to try to get his insurance policy or something like that, some kind of monetary thing, it would make a little bit more sense. But just to have that 15 minutes of fame...
She lying just to lie. Lying just to lie.
Just to lie.
Like, it's like you're literally a pathological liar.
For
like,
real.
To the farthest extent you can go. Like,
To affinity.
Like, and beyond. Like, what are you doing?
By the way, this was really good.
It was.
I'm scraping the bowl.
I thought it was kind of texture.
The biscuit? Yeah.
But it was good though.
But it was
with
really
the hot
good.
sauce.
Yeah, that was delicious. Thank you so much for joining me for this crazy conversation. Please drop in the comments and let me know how you feel. Let me know if you've seen this movie before, because it was off the hook. My next story time will be about another movie I watched right after that. It was set up to look like a documentary, but it actually wasn't, which was crazy. And it was actual actors doing the whole thing, but it We'll talk about that later. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell a friend. Tell another friend. Tell a friend. Share me out, child. Show the people Jamie out here doing her thing. And she out here even when she in pain, baby. All right. Love you guys. Bye.